the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is a spot. We are here for the next 4 hours. Busy program lined up. Monday Night Football game to get to. Game 3 World Series. Updated numbers in college football. Week 9 early numbers here in the National Football League. And Nick Bogdanovich coming up in about 90 minutes or so. Talking college football with him, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I don't want to overreact, but makes its return today as well. Paul, the game started almost 24 hours ago, meaning it ended about 20 hours ago. And I'm not over it yet. I'm not over what happened pretty much the entire second half between the Commanders and the Bears. Now, that's tough for a finish to stick with me for this long, but I'm not exaggerating. I've thought about it all day and all night last night. I had the Cowboys and the Niners game on last night, and I just kept looking at the replay of the Hail Mary and all the reaction videos that came out from it, and how stupid the Chicago Bears were down the stretch and in the final moments. It also doesn't help that I had a decent bet on the Bears when they trailed 12-7 at plus 340 to win the game. And to be honest, they had no business even being in the game yesterday. They should have been blown out. But that's how they blow it. I'm baffled at it.
That's how people get fired, and that's how you miss the playoffs. And imagine what a Bears fan's feeling.
Sure.
And that is now twice where a coaching staff has cost them a game. And between the buffoonery, giving the ball to an offensive lineman, and how they played the last 2 plays, it's just, it's minor league, and he has to go. Eberflus made it worse today when he was on ESPN 1000 in Chicago and said, I'm not concerned about the McLaurin play the play before. That's the whole play.
That's the whole play.
That sets everything up. The ball was at the Washington 35-yard line. 8 Chicago defenders were at their own 30. Oh, Romo called it. Well, that shouldn't happen. There's 6 seconds left. All you do is blitz and protect the sideline. The game's over.
100%.
Why do you give them 13 yards? He can't throw the Hail Mary without the 13 yards and getting it close to midfield. He can't figure that out. I'm stunned by what he said today. He can't be a head coach if that's his explanation.
No, absolutely not.
He can't be. You can't drop all those guys and give them 13 yards because he can't make it to the end zone then. If you don't give him the 13 yards, the game's over. There's no whole. Oh, I'm concerned about the Hail Mary. You have to defend the Hail Mary. There's no Hail Mary without the McLaurin play.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, he can't figure out like physics. Daniels has an unbelievable arm. He can't throw the ball 85 yards in the air. That cannot happen. That ball's going to come down to like the 12-yard line without that play to McLaurin for that cushion that they needed to have. They had to have that, and they gave it to him. Mm-hmm. They said, here you go. There's 6 seconds left. Would you like an additional 13 yards? Go ahead and take it because you're going to have enough time to run it on the sideline, and the game's not going to be over with. Feel free. And then we're going to get all cocky and have our players run down and taunt the fans as the play is unfolding. Incredible stretch there. And now that guy is 3-17 overall on the road in his career. Are you ready for this? The wins are over Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, and Josh Dobbs.
Yep.
What more do you need to know?
And then he puts it on the leadership council and won't call out the player and has them handle it. So no accountability there. And he also defended the call to Doug Kramer saying it wasn't a bad call. Who thinks it's a good idea to go refrigerator Perry there? And they fumble. It's lunacy.
Pure stupidity.
The fourth quarter win probabilities for the Bears the last 2 years. Denver 98%, Detroit 98%, Cleveland 91%, 96%. They lost all of them. All of them. And now they're going to miss the playoffs because of what transpired yesterday and then running that, what they did, the sweep quick pitch play against the Colts as well. Awful. And you got to be sick if you're a Bears fan to lose like that. Sick, and he can't figure it out.
No, and by the way, so we're going to drop all 8 guys back too. I'll rush 2 on the Hail Mary and give absolutely zero pressure on Jaden Daniels whatsoever. So he'll have 15 seconds up there to allow the receivers to come down the field and put it up in the air long enough to maybe get a tip on it. And he had a spy on him as well. It did no good whatsoever for that kind of coverage on the final play of the game. Everything that they could have screwed up, that's textbook on what not to do in the final moments of a game like that. And That's on his resume now. And the fact that you're going to double down on it like you talked about today or on local media, with local media, just tells you how unacceptable that is.
Yep.
Not only in real-time unfolding, he doesn't know what to do. He's had a full day, or half of it anyway, to think about it, and I'm good with how it played out.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense because the same scenario played out in the first half, and they protected the sideline. It didn't drop anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense they would do that there. You're doing Washington a huge favor. And then we know how to defend that play. You blitz. There's nothing the quarterback can do. He can't get it off. There was also a blatant hold that wasn't called, but they twisted the guy around from Chicago. But I know they're not going to call that.
Well,
but then the buffoonery was Stevenson to be looking at the crowd, and then, the play's going on. He comes in, he tips the ball. Oh, God.
And he had to come out and own it and eat that on social media. He's like, hey, next time I'm not going to screw it up. Yeah. Will there be a next time, buddy?
Yeah.
There's not only that. Back up to the lineman that you talked about. So we know when the Lions did that against the Cowboys a couple of weeks back, they were doing everything they could to get a lineman a touchdown, right? They're also up by 30 points or more.
Yeah, sure.
Game's already over with, so they're screwing with them, right? So Bill Barnwell had an incredible column today on ESPN. He went back and looked at the history of this. His name's Doug Kramer. He has never touched the ball in the NFL. He never had a carry in college. He's had 18 career snaps offensively in the National Football League. Barnwell went back and looked. He could not find an example of a player who weighs 300-plus pounds scoring a touchdown when their team trailed. He went back and looked in the entire, football perspective database, and nothing popped up. So, again, you're trailing in the game, and you want to have a backup offensive lineman come in and get a carry at fullback. The guy has had 18 career offensive snaps, and he probably never even ran the ball in high school, by the way, going back.
Yep.
Never did it in college, has never touched the ball in the NFL.
Yep.
And that's what you're going to do. Down again. You're not up 2 scores. It's not a cozy lead late. Nope. You're trailing in the game.
How does the offense play like that off a bye week, too? That's another thing.
I was alarmed.
Yeah, you're not going against a good defense. I mean, at one point, Williams had 3 completions in the second half. In the second half, he only had 3 completions.
Yeah.
But this is my ugly coming up. It's all these moves. I can't believe what I was watching Sunday. The Browns refuse to bench Watson, and every time Watson doesn't play, the other guy throws for 300 yards and they win. Peyton's trying to run up the score. The Colts are backed up inside their own 5 with 20 seconds throwing the ball. The Jets burn all 3 timeouts. What am I doing here? This is a billion-dollar industry run by bozos.
Well, and the problem is when we call for everybody's head and you have 7 or 8 or 9 guys that get whacked every single year at the end of the season, there are no good candidates, Pauly. There's 1 or 2 good candidates every single year. So it's yes, all these guys are horrendous head coaches. How does Eberflus have his job today, right? How?
Yep.
That's an abomination what took place yesterday. But I got to tell you, I don't know who the next guy is that they should hire. I have no idea. Because none of these guys, I'm thrilled by a grand total of 3% of them.
Okay, well,
that's it.
Belichick and Vrabel are available.
Well, that's okay, but is that going to happen?
I could give Ben Johnson whatever he wants, but this is just common sense stuff, though. I don't know. It's you see it though in college all the time. You can turn down a whole team can change like that with the right coaching hire.
Yeah.
Look at Indiana for an example. You bring the right guy in. A program that stunk for 20, 30, all of a sudden, hey, we're relevant, we're good, we can win games.
Yeah.
They're out there. You just got to find them.
For what it's worth, I thought this was a great tweet from Doug Clawson. Jaden Daniels is the second quarterback all time with a 70% completion rate, 200 yards passing per game or more, and 50 yards rushing per game in an 8-game span. Lamar Jackson did it last year when he won the MVP. Jaden Daniels has to be right there with everybody else.
Yep.
He's got to be there with Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson to win it this year. I don't want to hear the Wembanyama stuff from the NBA. He's a rookie. The guy can't win the award.
Yep.
Cut it out. They're 6-2.
Yep.
And they're a great story. And that fan base, they deserve this because they went through hell and, it was just awful what they put up with Schneider as the owner.
Yep.
The guy was a total train wreck. And Dan Quinn's a short shot now to win Coach of the Year, deservedly so.
I still come back to Andy Reid, though. If they win 15 games,
I know
that's in play.
He's got to be in play.
It's 13 wins in a row. He's down to plus 650 now. I mean, guys get hurt. Doesn't matter. Keep winning games. Doesn't matter, right? It's more unbelievable. The Bears game or what's happened this year with the Jets.
It's a total throwaway season.
It's over.
It's over.
They're favored Thursday. 2-6 against 6-2. They're favored.
Can you explain that game to me?
I can't.
So I've already talked to several people about this game yesterday and today. We're all in agreement, right? It's like there's only one play here. It's Houston. But when it's that obvious, that doesn't probably go very well in history.
Central Florida, BYU.
Of course.
That's right.
Did you hear one person make the case for BYU?
No. The Jets scored 20-plus points, didn't turn the ball over, held the Patriots under 250 yards. Going back to 1940, teams were 756-0 when they hit those three metrics. Jets lose. Jets lose. Jets are 5-3 if they had a kicker. Jets burn all three timeouts in the first quarter. Can't get the play in.
Oh.
Jets get to delay a game after a touchdown. They get penalized on the 2-point try. And they lose, and they can't stop. Sauce Gardner, everything. They can't stop anything.
Oh.
May gets hurt, still can't stop Brissett. Season's over.
Defense is overrated, which I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Offense, I'm sorry, but it's not a lot to look at there as well. Yeah, this is an unbelievable tweet from Mark Cannizzaro, who you're exactly right. If Zerline does his job, they beat the Broncos 12-10, the Bills 26-23, and the Patriots 26-25. They'd be 5-3 instead of 2-6.
Yeah. I'm not asking for much. An extra point, a 40-yard field goal. Then they had to punt twice from the 40-yard line because they don't trust them.
Right. In the season of the kicker.
Yeah.
This guy whiffs every single game. Greg the Leg. Probably time to burn that nickname down as well. All right, we have a Monday Night Football game to bet on and Game 3 of the World Series. I like a couple of different angles with player props tonight. We'll get into those coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Coming up Monday on Follow the Money, Nick Bogdanovich to look at the openers in college football. We recap a great weekend with the NFL and college, and the World Series continues with Game 3. Follow the Money weekdays, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to see who at VSiN is on a hot streak? Go to VSiN.com/picks to see all the selections and weekly leaderboard of VSiN hosts, writers, and guests. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber and get every pick sent to your inbox daily. Just head to VSiN.com/pro.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Monday Night Football tonight. Steelers laying 6 to the Giants. Total, shop around 36.5 or 37. 37 is a key number in totals. With the NFL, I can't believe this. I mean, I knew it did not go well for Russ post-Seattle, but the last 9 games is a favorite of 3 points or more. 0-8-1 ATS, 3-6 straight up. And you combine that with the Steelers, 0-10 ATS, 3-6-1 straight up in their last 10 games when they're laying at least 4 points. That includes the playoffs.
Yeah, there's so much stuff going on here. So the Steelers win, but they don't cover, right? You got Danny Dimes 1-15 straight up in primetime, and a New York team, Jets and Giants 4-32 straight up in primetime going back the last 5 years. Steelers have also won 21 in a row at home on Monday Night Football. Haven't lost since 1991.
That's right.
I mean, it's ridiculous what they've done here. Second in takeaways, second in points allowed. They've been great on special teams, blocked 3 kicks. So you saw what they did against the Jets. Wilson looked good. Offense looked good going up and down the field in the second half. And the Giants are just a mess offensively. I would also think there's some liability baked into this, too, with what happened with the late games. Denver covered. Bills covered. Chargers covered. 49ers won and covered. Chiefs won, covered the teasers, didn't cover the game. You think all those people, what they did in the late games and carried over to the Steelers here, and then they would move open 4 up to 6, 6.5, and the totals come down as well. So based on what they did last Sunday night and how good they've been on Monday night, you think they'd get the win, be able to shut down and contain Dimes, and there's some turnovers here.
With a win tonight, they have sole possession of first place in their division.
Yeah.
How about that? And 6-2 overall.
Right. So all this talk about backloaded, oh boy, the schedule might not matter. Suddenly Cleveland's not a good team, and you certainly can get to 9 wins much easier and probably get to 10 wins and so be a playoff team again.
Yep. So the Steelers like to mix it up with their running backs. Harris is the main guy. Jalen Warren comes in, spells him a good receiving back as well. Here's an angle that I like in the game tonight. What receiving backs have done against the Giants so far this year. Austin Eckler had 3 for 47. He also had 38 yards rushing in that game. Jerome Ford for the Browns had 4 catches for 33 yards. He also had 37 yards rushing when they played. Rico Dowdell had 15 yards and a touchdown, so he was effective, and he had 46 yards on the ground. And Kenneth Walker had 7 catches for 57 yards. Wilson, I went back and looked in his time with Denver when they got hot last year and they were winning games. He spread it around to a bunch of different running backs, by the way. Like Pirine would get catches, Williams would, McLaughlin would. So I like Warren to go over his rushing and receiving yards tonight, the combination there. And it's 46.5 was the best number I could find earlier today on him. I'm thinking about a play on Daniel Jones. The passing yards tonight is 188.5. The attempts are 31.5 on him. Here's what opposing quarterbacks have done against the Steelers so far this year. In reverse order, Rodgers had 39 attempts for 276 yards. O'Connell, 40 attempts for 227 yards. Prescott, 42 for 352. Flacco and Richardson combined 30 attempts for 225 yards. And Bo Nix had 35 attempts and 246 yards passing as well. Only Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert did not go over the attempts number, nor did they go over the yards number. And Jones by game, he had a 5-game stretch where he went over 200 yards passing in all of them, a 4-game stretch. And then a 5 games so far this year where he went over 31.5 attempts as well. So I think 31.5 attempts might be my better play here rather than the yards.
Okay. I have no feel. This one's tough. Only thing I really love is Boswell, longest made field goal, $1.40. And we got finally lost with Aubrey last night. But that's one that sticks out to me where you can't have confidence in Joseph and how bad he was in the Sunday night game. And Boswell's automatic, and Tomlin will trot him out from 55. He doesn't care. That's one thing I do like. And Boswell over 1.5 made field goals. The other stuff, I don't know. I mean, it's a short sample, but certainly if Wilson was taking shots and having success against the Jets, made some big plays, and also you saw some flags too. So
yeah,
that could be dangerous where there's some big plays and what they're able to do against the Giants from the offensive standpoint. I don't know. I mean, how bad was that against the Eagles? Didn't make any sense.
Right.
But that's the Giants at home, though, that they can't do anything.
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay, so I know it's the Steelers, and I know you have a New York team playing tonight on Monday night as well. Is there any chance Game 3 of the World Series beats it in the ratings? I would never, ever suggest this because it never happens. But we're talking Yankees-Dodgers here. I still lean no, it doesn't, but I think it might come close tonight.
It'd help if it was a 2-2 series. Game 3, 2-0. Yeah. Friday night did very well, but it's also the toughest night because everyone goes out.
Right.
It was the highest-rated Game 1 since 2017. Astros-Dodgers. Game 2 did a big number. It has delivered. The first 2 games have been awesome and ended with bases loaded, grand slam, and then bases loaded to fly out, and the Dodgers get out of it. So maybe it's close. It should be close. Who wants to watch the Giants? And it's Ohtani against Judge.
Right, that's
even
what I'm
though
saying.
Judge has embarrassed himself.
What if the Monday night game turns into a blowout?
Yeah.
And this game's tight?
It's possible, yeah, sure.
Teams with a 2-0 lead have won 84% of the time in the World Series. 77 out of 92, in fact.
Is it over?
No, I'm not going to go that far.
All right, well, it's a must-win tonight. Got to get this one.
Well, yeah, for sure.
The season's on the line. You got Schmidt going, but then I still don't see. It's hard to envision the Yankees winning all 3. And this is where the 2-3-2 actually hurts you. But because if the Dodgers just get one, they're looking good. Not that you're dead and buried. We saw it last year with Arizona, but you can come back down 3-2 when you have to play 6 and 7 on the road.
Yeah.
But it's all about Judge. You know, some people say you can't do it. I would tinker with the lineup and try to. I dropped the guy in the lineup. He's that bad. 85 strikeouts now in 55 postseason games.
Yep.
And what he's done so far. So he's an automatic out.
3+ Ks in 11 postseason games, most in history.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, the Dodgers, if you watch the at-bats closely, the Dodgers have it figured out. Mm-hmm. He can't touch the breaking stuff.
No.
He's not even close. And every pitch that they were going at with the sweeper or call it whatever you want, it was embarrassing to watch him.
Yeah, sure was.
He it's not, just let it go, dude. If you're not going to get the fastball, don't even swing because you're not even within like 2 feet of hitting the baseball. It's a terrible look right now.
You can't do this when you have Torres, Soto, and Stanton playing like this. The guy's an automatic out.
He knows it too, by the way. He talked about it. I'm letting everybody.
I know.
It's Deshaun Watson. It's in his head right now.
Right. So why can't I move him down in the order and move up Stanton? I mean, you're giving up on him. The other thing is, will the fans boo him tonight? That's interesting.
Oh, who cares about giving up on the guy? He can't get a hit. Do what's best for the team.
Yeah, I know. Again, it's not June. I'm not playing Seattle. I don't care. Mm-hmm. This is Yankee baseball. Let's see something. Even Bob Papa, who would play-by-play with the Giants football team about what Boone did. And that's the other thing about you don't know what this guy's going to do. You burn your bullpen in Game 1 for no reason. You carry your extra starters with Cortez and Stroman. You use one of your relievers in the 4th, but you use a starter coming off an injury as a reliever in Game 1.
Yeah.
Hasn't pitched at September 18th.
Yep.
What's Boone doing?
I know it. Freeman is homered in 4 straight World Series games going back to Game 5 of 2021.
Even money to win MVP.
It might be a good bet, actually.
Yeah.
He's tied with Reggie Jackson and Lou Gehrig. Only George Springer has a longer streak, did it 5 straight games. Dodgers are 3-2 on the road this year in the postseason. In the 3 wins, they've allowed a total of 2 runs. In the 2 losses, they allowed a total of 18 runs.
I want a competitive series. And
so do I.
It doesn't look good right now because your season's on the line and you're throwing Schmidt. And then you got to throw Heel tomorrow.
They're saying the right things about Ohtani, by the way. I mean, that's how the Yankees maybe get back into this thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he plays. They're going to run him through some tests, and we'll see. That'd be big.
Some of the reports I was seeing earlier today looked like it was going to be positive for the guy, but
there's just too many sticks in this lineup, though. I mean, even you got Edman hitting home runs, and it's a deep lineup. Back to old reliable Torres to get a single. Now it's up to $1.50, but I do like that, and Judge minus 180 to have a walk. I don't even see why you'd pitch around him, though. Boy, how that number has changed.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
how about Walker Buehler with the outs prop tonight? Now, I think it's come down a little bit in some spots, but it was 14.5 earlier this morning. In fact, I still see that out there right now. Here at Circa, it's 13.5. Good write-up by Adam Burke at VSiN.com today. Go check it out at the website. So if he's going to go over 14.5 outs, that means there's a good chance that he's going to see the top of that order for the 3rd time. I don't think they do that.
Yeah.
I really don't. So I think under 14.5 outs is the number that you want to go with here on Walker Buehler. It appears to be about minus 120. Best number that you can find on him right now.
What a wild series already. I mean, there was a prop up. We talked about it Friday. Will there be a triple in the series? It happened in the 1st inning with Freddie Freeman, of all people. What did that pay?
Well,
the guy can't even run.
No kidding. I know the Grand Slam got you good, so I'm not rubbing this in your face. It's one of the best baseball moments of our lifetime.
Was it at the exact same time as Gibson?
8:37 p.m.
How can that be? It's right.
I know.
The similarities almost lands in the same spot.
We had a suite at a bunch of us did for the UNLV Boise game. This game was on the TV in the suite. We were going bonkers for 5 minutes.
Yep. I can't believe he brought in Cortez. I can't believe it.
What a bad pitch, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just...
The whole sequence sucked.
Serve it up to him on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Here you go.
You gave him the game. Gave him the game. All 4 major sports in action. The Equinox is upon us. Celebrate the best time of year for sports bettors and our new Sports Equinox special. Every best bet, every host, every guest. VSiN.com/subscribe. Less than $20 a month. Get the special. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Survivor discussion, updated playoff and division odds next.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
20-plus people were whacked Circa Survivor this weekend. 7 took the Dolphins. That hurt.
I don't know how that happened.
They led pretty much the entire game.
They punted twice and lost. The safety was enormous.
People took the Jets.
Yep. Baltimore hurt big time,
People
too.
took the Ravens, yeah.
Yep. There's just 2 plays where the game's over. I mean, Bateman has the drop, wide open, deep in Brown's territory, drops it. Hamilton, Winston throws it right to him.
Game's over.
Game's over, drops it. Drops a game-ending interception.
You have to be absolutely sick if you're on any of those teams. Honestly, like nobody should have been whacked this week.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't, have any sleep last night as a result. And now 16 people are on the Steelers tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's down to 191 people.
Yep, 16 on the Steelers. Good luck, everyone. And it's just, Derek. We'll talk to Derek Stevens tomorrow. I just can't get enough of this with $14 million in the thought process and who am I going to use and who am I going to save. And again, $14 million on the line. Somebody used the Vikings and somebody used the Rams.
And it was not the same person.
Yeah, I thought for sure that would have been an option. It wasn't an option. Nope. They had one entry left. One did Rams, one did Vikings. Using an underdog with can't believe it.
Crazy.
And the guy gets through, and he moves on with the Rams. So now the whole thing with the strategy, and what you're thinking, because Christmas is just a bear now. Because now there's so many bad teams. It's really opened up, but your big favorites are Kansas City and Baltimore, but Christmas is its own week. Kansas City goes to Pittsburgh, Baltimore goes to Houston, and Seattle goes to Chicago. Sure. You must play one of those 3 games.
Have to.
And have someone available. And you want to go back to Thanksgiving? Well, Black Friday, the Chiefs host the Raiders.
That's right.
So it's hard. You can't burn the Chiefs here either. Unless you want to get nuts and maybe use Dallas or maybe take an easy way out and play Detroit. Well, it's going to be difficult, actually, but Detroit at home against the Bears. So,
and at this point, by the way, it might be Malik Willis for the Packers playing.
Right?
I don't know. How many times is Love going to get hurt this year?
Yeah, right.
I mean, because that one actually looks good to me if Jordan Love's going to play the game. I don't know if he's going to be playing. I don't know if any of these guys are going to be playing. That's a tricky part and why you need to save, in my opinion, about as many teams as possible for the holiday weeks. So my buddy and I were on Denver this past weekend, and there's an angle here because of who they played. I mean, how bad is it for Carolina? Like, this is all-time bad that we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Raiders. That tells you how bad the Raiders are.
Right. And if it's going to be Bryce Young, it's like those Cleveland Browns teams, how bad they are. They're going to trade Johnson. They can't stop anything. And we'll see what happens with Dalton. But the score didn't even count. I mean, come on. It's 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left, they score. And then the other touchdown was set up by a Denver fumble.
You were
an
spotted.
Absolute mess.
Yep, they were spotted a 7-0 lead because of the fumble by the Broncos, and they could not cover 11 points yesterday. After that, basically, it was a complete rout by the Broncos. They poured it on them and
got to 13.5.
Yeah, Bo Nix looked phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's how bad Carolina is at this point. I mean, they're an absolute mess. But can you what's the situation with New Orleans this week? Is Derek Carr going to be playing?
If it's Carr against Love, I love New Orleans. If it's Carr against Dalton, I like the over. If it's Haener or Rattler against Dalton, I punt. And if it's Love against Rattler, I take the under. So that's where we are.
Young against Rattler, yeah.
But it's supposed to be Carr, and we saw what happened in Week 1. I mean, it's just they're in L.A. Clipper territory with Sterling. That's what the Panthers are right now.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
But underdogs 39 games in a row. This is historic what's happening.
So I would like to tell you that the Saints would be the play this week with Derek Carr. I don't know if the guy's going to play. No idea. I think, but who knows at this point. But you're exactly right. How can you go with the Saints if it's going to be Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener?
Wow, was that ugly.
Oh, that's the team that you're going to go to war with?
I know. I can't, yeah.
I think you got to find something else.
Yep. If it's a Carr, I'm okay. But that's why it's so interesting with the strategy. Because you're going to have to save Baltimore and Kansas City, and then, who are you looking at?
You trust the Bills at home against the Dolphins?
Yeah, it's not bad.
They're laying 6?
Yep.
I mean, you could tell.
Tua looked good, but
as soon as Tua comes back in.
Can't stop anything, and, the safety was big. Looked like they were going to win. You got Hill involved, but It's typical Miami Dolphins. But we saw what it looked like that Week 2 game on Thursday. So other than that performance when they went to Baltimore and got boat raced, the Bills have been great. Maybe they let down because they know the division's over. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care that's not November. The AFC East is over.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. What about the Titans at home to the Patriots?
No way. No.
They had 400 yards yesterday of offense.
How about Ridley? 100 in the first quarter.
Sure. Right away.
Yes.
You liked him. You bet him.
Yeah, I know.
No sweat bet.
I didn't ladder it. I should have got creative with Otten, too, who I liked. And I'll be back on. Kansas City's terrible against tight ends.
Oh, I know.
Otten Monday night, I can't wait. But you can't play it. Because the calling them soft actually worked out. Patriots showed some guts. We'll see who the quarterback is. But you don't want to. Callahan has no idea what he's doing.
Oh, no.
Tommy boy. I mean, this is
totally
terrible.
over his skis.
Oh, it's terrible.
But if it's Jacoby Brissett, would that be enough to because you got to take some bad teams at some point. You got to use 20 teams to get through.
I disagree. You can mix it up, but you can't. For $14 million, you can't play the Titans. They're just so bad. And to see that at one point. Would they start 4 drives inside the 25-yard line? Whatever it was crazy.
Yeah.
4 Detroit drives started inside the 25.
Oh, the special teams were amazing yesterday.
And Goff had like 70 yards, but they're in the
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
There is that angle, though, too, that scares me off Tennessee. Mm-hmm. The following game after playing Detroit. Right? We talked about this after the Vikings game. Every team that has played Detroit, the next week they go on to get, a lot of times it's the doors blown off.
Well, the other thing that what you're up against is there are so many people with multiple entries left, which is surprising.
The person with 6 used 4 on Denver, 2 on the Chargers.
Yeah, not bad. Okay. I like to see them mix it up. That's good.
Yeah, there are several, though, with multiple. So,
but that guy with 6, I mean, it's just, if he plays it the right way, you can't catch him. He has such a huge advantage that he has all these entries and can sprinkle it around, and there should be a documentary on him alone.
Yep.
The fact that there's only 193 left and he's still got 6, and he's through when we go to Week 9.
So after last night's loss by the Cowboys, another loser for that team, they're 3-1 this morning at DK. Well, this afternoon at DK to make the playoffs. Just to make the playoffs now, 3-1.
Yep.
I don't think they're in. It's a bad outfit.
Tough schedule.
Not a lot to like there.
I actually think they win Sunday. I just saw Atlanta in this spot after the big win against Tampa, went on the road, beat Carolina, came home, let down, steamrolled by Seattle. Same thing could happen. The Dallas season on the line.
Yep.
Atlanta fat and happy off the big road win. The division's over. And I think Atlanta could lose at home. And then, so Dallas goes Atlanta, Philly, Houston, and Washington. This is why their season's on the line. You're 3-4. Your next 4 opponents have a combined record of 22-9. You haven't even played Washington and Philly yet.
That's right.
So more losses are coming. And then you come off the bye and you look like that. Big Mike, 3rd and 5. How about a draw? Goes nowhere and you punt to start out. And then the horrible possession, which you pissed off about, the possession to end the game.
I can't even call it a drive. You're right. It was only a possession.
Yeah.
The execution and the play calling on their final 4 plays, as bad as it gets. Just it had it should have been picked off right away. What was Dak looking at in the first pass? That should have been, that could have been a pick 6 too.
Yep, it almost had 3.
The Seahawks are now plus 370.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, that I know they're not one of the worst teams in football. I actually think that may have been the worst performance out of any team I've watched so far this year. Mike McDonald, I bet him at 20-1 for Coach of the Year, has no prayer cashing, right? That's a bad bet. It looked like he had no control over the team at all yesterday. The silly miscues that happened over and over and over in the game. Did you see that stretch?
The 4th and goal play? Geno Smith falls down and trips?
That happened after the center put it 30 yards deep. He snapped it over Geno's head. It went back to the 30-yard line is where they recovered it.
Yeah.
And then the next possession, they trip over each other on 4th down. So they had 3 points, and they should have been 14.
I have nothing here. I only have one thing because I think everything's decided in the AFC but one. We'll get to that coming up. But the only thing I can look at is Tampa Bay. I'm going to bet Tampa Bay to make the playoffs after they lose to the Chiefs and 49ers and fall to 4-6. Because then the schedule's so easy. I still think they have enough offensively.
All right.
That with the other teams that are going to lose, NFC West is so intriguing. Seattle's the longest shot on the board now to win the division.
That's right. Well, I mean, look at the Cardinals now.
That's right. All right, big news here. Looks fantastic. The all-new VSiN Watch app makes it easy to watch or listen to VSiN anywhere, anytime. For unlimited time, you can watch it for free. Visit the Apple app or Google Play Store now. Download the VSiN Watch app. 24/7 access to the live audio and video streams. Watch replays of your favorite shows. Browse clips by sport or use the search feature to find the specific VSiN expert insights you're interested in. The VSiN Watch app, free to download both Apple and Android. Don't delay. Visit the Apple or Google App Store now. Download the all-new VSiN Watch app and become part of the team. Get it now.
No fooling around here. They hit a home run with this bad boy.
Oh, it's awesome.
It looks tremendous.
Love it, yes.
Yeah, you will love the new app. Pauly's going to recap a lot of the betting action from the weekend and win some, lose some. That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, a sports oasis awaits. Stadium Swim, the ultimate outdoor amphitheater, built for the ultimate sports fan, with a colossal screen that brings the game closer than ever. Reserve a daybed, private cabana, or lounge in the center of it all. 6 pools to dive into as the game heats up. And the best part, there's never an off-season. Open 365 days a year. Stadium Swim, it's always spectator season.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Okay, World Series Game 1. Will there be a grand slam? Yes, 9-1. A grand slam in the series? Yes, plus 180. A walk-off home run in the series? Yes, plus 250. The team to hit for the cycle? Dodgers did it, 10-1. Freeman to go deep, plus 550. Stanton plus 280 to go deep. He was 8-1 first home run. Will Smith, the first RBI, 14-1. Chisholm, first stolen base, 6-1. Edman, first double, 19-1. Will there be a triple in the series? Yes, minus 160. Happened in the bottom of the first with Freeman. There were 2 in the game. And extra innings cashes as well. Will there be extra innings in the series? Game 2, first home run, Edman, 45-1. Crazy already. NFL Week 8. First touchdown of the early games, Falcons 10-1, and first touchdown, Pitts 10-1. At FanDuel, Otten and Pitts to parlay both to have 2 touchdowns or more, 300-1. It was 300-1 at FanDuel. Saw the ticket on social media. Remember, DraftKings was doing these great props because it was National Tight End Day. Most yards by a tight end in the early games, McBride 6-1. Will a tight end have 100 yards early? Plus 275. 8 tight ends had touchdowns early. Forgot to do it. It's happened 2 years in a row. You have more of this breakdown coming up. They all scored touchdowns. They all had big games.
Yeah.
It's like all set up. It's conspiratorial.
It's part of the script.
I know, it's what it is. Crazy what happened. All these guys scoring early. Most points, Lions 7-1. Fewest points, Saints 6-1. Highest scoring game, Lions Titans 11-1. Low scoring game, Bears Washington 10-1. Most passing yards, of course, Winston 25-1. Most rushing, Swift 30-1. He gets there late. Most receiving, Lamb 8-1. Ridley gets beat by 3 yards. I think he was 70-1. Browns money line plus 290. Patriots likewise. Arizona Cardinals plus 190. College football. Tulsa plus 290 on the money line. Kansas outright plus 290. Oh, they got beat. My fault. K-State came back to win. Ball State 4-1. UFC. 2 Magomedovs? 2 Bobkovs? Magomedov round 2 9-1. The other one, Magomedov sub 5-1. Round 3 8-1. Rebexy by decision 6-1. Poirier, round 3, 8-1. Did you see Chimaev broke Whitaker's jaw? Oh, was that nasty?
Slightly nasty, yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. Embrace it. Get ready. Halloween Thursday. Myles Garrett worked with a former Hollywood stage and costume design team. The Terminator mask that he wore prior to the Ravens game. Look at that thing. And he had that on, and between with the leather and the gear he had walking into the stadium. Here he is walking into the stadium. Nails it like Schwarzenegger. And that mask, incredible. Reaches out to Hollywood people, design people in costumes to have his mask and look like the Terminator.
Oh, you want to make an impression, right?
Yeah, that's excellent.
Take off on social media, make the fans happy. You got to spend some money and get creative. That's as good as it gets.
That is strong. How about this? I put it under Winsome, but I guess it's a Winsome for the Bear. How about you wake up in the brown bear in your backyard getting ready to go in the pool? Oh, he's getting on the floated device here. Oh, yeah. Here's to feeling good all the time.
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, right. He's on the floaty. Look at you wake up and the bear's just chilling in your pool. And he wants to cool off. I don't know, he'd chill the champagne or go in your pants. You wake up to that sight, right? What do you do?
Well,
hey, get out of here. What do you do?
1,000% you got to take video.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what are the odds that would happen? And just jump in. Okay, cool off. All right, lose some. College football week 9. Central Florida plus 2.5 went off a 3-point favorite. Whole world had them. No good. Hawaii, Nevada under. 48 down to 41.5. No good. Arizona and under. 2.5 up to 5.5. 56 down to 51.5. West Virginia beat them 31-26. Tampa, Atlanta under. 49.5 down to 46.5. No good. Likewise, Miami and Arizona. 49 down to 46. Plenty of bad for the books. They got me good here, and I couldn't believe it. And under money. Colorado State, New Mexico under. 65 down to 61.5. 17-6. New Mexico had gone over on average 20 points per game.
Yep.
Cal, 9.5 up to 13.5. 144-7. Bama, Missouri under. 57 down to 51. 34 rip. Good call, Paul Stone. Tulane, North Texas over. 65 up to 71. 45-37. Baylor from 4 up to 7. Beat Okie State by 10. Navy, Notre Dame over. Got it themselves. 45 up to 51. 51-14 Irish. They scored more touchdowns in one game at MetLife than the Giants and Jets combined. Hawaii plus 2.5 went off the favorite, rolled Nevada. Colorado from 3 up to 7 beat Cincy by 10. Utah State plus 2.5 went off a 2.5 from 2.5 to minus 2.5, won by 2. Scored a touchdown with 10 minutes left and kicked the extra point up 1. I don't know. Lions 9.5 up to 12. Ice cream. Browns Ravens over 42 up to 45. Colts Texans under 48.5 down to 45. 23-20. Pats Jets over 38.5 up to 41. 25-22. Broncos look ahead 4.5 up to 13.5. 28-14. Here are your bad beats. World Series Game 1, under 9 or 8.5. Walk-off Grand Slam, 6-3 final. Oh, the in-play, too. 9.5, 8.5, 7.5, 6.5. Bye-bye. And you lose that, the walk-off Grand Slam, to put it over the total. The first fight on the UFC card, Leal, by decision, paid 5-1. He was minus 2,000 in play. Late, and then after it was over. And he lost by decision. The judges gave it to the other guy.
Okay, so I heard
about minus
this.
2,000, lost.
Right. So, was the decision that awful?
Apparently.
Or was he dominated in the final round? Because I did not watch the fight, but I saw this reaction on social media, and I was like, oh, that doesn't happen every day.
It was all-time bad. Yeah, sure. This all happened in the same time in a 5-minute span Saturday in the Premier League. Brentford, Ipswich Town draw plus 320. Nope, Brentford scores in the 96th minute. Aston Villa minus 120. Nope, they allowed a goal in the 96th minute. Brighton minus 190. They were up 2-0 in the 88th minute. Draw against Wolves.
Sure.
Fulham plus 160. Goal in the 94th minute. Man U, West Ham draw plus 260. Goal, 92nd minute. Texas San Antonio minus 9.5 are on a teaser. 42-17 late third. Lost to Tulsa 46-45. I was watching this game. Duke plus 280 on the money line. 30-yard field goal blocked at the gun. They were plus 6 in the turnover battle against SMU and lost. Teams were 1 and 124 this century when losing the turnover battle by that margin. In 2011, Marshall beat Memphis. Same scenario.
I'm surprised actually one other team did it.
Yeah, how are you plus 6 and you lose the game? Huh. Packers lane 3.5. It's not the falling down at the 1-yard line, which was the correct thing to do. It's up 10 late in the fourth quarter, and you have a great defense in the fourth quarter this year.
Right.
And Dobbs is wide open on third down and drops it. Would have been in Jacksonville territory.
That and also they messed around and almost found out.
They did, yeah.
There was no business. Jacksonville had no business being in that game.
Nope.
Yet here we are.
Texans lane 5. 2 of 6 in the red zone. Second and goal. The fumble. But a pitch play to Mixon. They're lucky that wasn't a scoop and score the other way. How did the Texans not cover that game? And what happened? Oh, sick beats. If you ever get red hot betting, think your picks are worth money, Juice Reel, changing the way sports bettors buy and sell betting advice. You and everyone else links their accounts into Juice Reel. All your history loads into the free app. Everyone's bets imported straight from the books. You're as good as your betting data says you are. Get paid real money while other people unlock your picks. Fully transparent betting advice from real people only on Juice Reel. Download for free iPhone or Android, REEL. Grab your phone, download now, get the app Juice Reel.
Well, here's the thing now. Indy, they're 7-1 ATS.
Yeah.
They've only had one loser the entire year against the spread.
Might have to make a quarterback change.
I think they probably should. 10
completions?
Oh.
Wait, it takes himself out of the game? I'm tired?
Sure.
Doesn't think there's anything wrong with that statement afterwards?
Nope.
But, I saw Trey Wingo tweet it. You're 4-4, and every game's been decided by 6 points or fewer. I mean, what if Flacco was your guy?
They can be a playoff team.
Yeah.
So I think you probably have to make that move. Steichen's not going to commit to that at this point. Also, the Commanders are 6-1 ATS, and the Lions laying these big numbers doesn't matter. They're 6-1, and they're covering on average by almost 10 points per game.
Now, how does Willis beat them? I imagine it's going to be Willis. LaFleur said it doesn't look good with the groin with Love. I mean, this team is humming right now.
I will say Willis was really good in those 2 games that he started.
Yeah,
he also came in yesterday and made a couple of good throws, at least one that I can recall top of my head now that I say it. But also, imagine, how did they lose Hutchinson? I get it. Injuries happen. If the best defensive player in football out for the year, what is this team like without him? Or with him, I should say.
$1.35 to win the division. And then if you think they can get the 1 seed, small plus price. Kansas City minus $3 to get the 1 seed.
They're a machine.
They are. Many weapons.
I came on VSiN last night with Joe Cerullo, and we're talking about look-ahead numbers here. And I said, and I thought about this yesterday, and I mean it, I think the Detroit Lions are the most exciting team in all of sports since peak Golden State with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, before they even got Kevin Durant. Because that team would go to road arenas and the fans would show up 2 hours before game to watch Steph shoot.
Yeah.
That's how exciting this Lions team is, in my opinion. They went from potentially winning several titles to a pretender overnight. I don't want to overreact, but is next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It's that magical time of year, the sports equinox, when all 4 major sports are in action. VSiN is celebrating